Welcome back to the 7 Steps to Exhibition Success with Stephen Murtagh, the exhibition guy. We're on to step 6 at this stage. And what we're going to talk about in step 6 is we're going to talk about this idea of trade show selling. Now, I know in the previous module, we discussed this idea of good questions to ask and why it's important to ask open questions to get valuable information from our clients. And ultimately, we're obviously trying to sell products and services at shows. But in the real world, not selling equals selling. I know it sounds like a really unusual way to describe it because it shouldn't be about selling. It should be about information gathering and providing information and gathering information between two people. And when we talk about trade shows specifically, we talk about selling at trade shows is different than day-to-day selling. And the reason why it's different than day-to-day selling is trade show selling is reactive. We've no idea who's going to walk on the stand. We've no idea necessarily about their budget, who they are, their company, or anything about them. So we have to be reactive. We have to build that relationship quite quickly with people. We have to ask good questions to get valuable information so that we're not wasting their time or our own time. So it's very much a reactive type selling. In day-to-day selling, we know who the company are, we know their website, we know where they're based, and we tend to know more information about them. When it comes to trade show selling, we don't know that. But also why we need to be reactive is we need to consider that we will have people on our stand who will never buy off us, who are there for the chat, who are there for a day out, and that's just unfortunately, that's part of trade shows, but we need to be able to manage that audience. And we need to be reactive to be able to manage the people off the stand who are not going to buy or are not really interested in our products and services. I'm not suggesting being rude, by the way, but I'm suggesting we do need to manage that audience. So we do need to be a lot more reactive. And when we talk about this idea of trade show selling, we talk about engaging first. It's like in day-to-day life, where it is similar into day-to-day life, is we don't just walk down the street and try and sell a product at somebody. We engage with them first, and then we sell afterwards. And when it comes to exhibitions, we talk about people come to exhibitions to buy, not to be sold. And it's really, really important to understand that the relationship is fundamental. Building that relationship, building that rapport, how we go about building rapport with somebody we've never met before. And we do that through really good questions. We do that by finding out about them and building that trust, building that credibility in a very, very short space of time. And when we do that, we're building a relationship for future business, not just for right now, but obviously for future business. Because it's like I say to people, when it comes to trade shows, I have a client of mine says, I only got 10 sales from the exhibition. Well, in fact, you didn't, because if you treat that client well, he's coming back and he's coming back and he's coming back. Those 10 sales could be 500 sales. So we've got to think about it as a starting point, building rapport for future business. And that's really, really important. So engage first and sell next. It's always about that relationship first, sales second. That's where it's similar to day-to-day selling. The difference is we do need to be reactive because we won't necessarily know our audience. And that's a really, really important thing. So by preparing in advance good questions, be that qualifying questions, using the example I said earlier on, how can I help you, as opposed to can I help you, and building really, really good questions. And as I say, I train in sales on a day-to-day basis. I say to salespeople, you need to have 3 key questions prepared. If you do that, you're much, much better armed, if you want to call it that. And it's a great way to start and build that relationship. So plan for what you're going to say, as in what questions you're going to ask, and you'll be far, far more successful. So with that in mind, my tip number 6 on the 7 steps to exhibition success is all about planning. It's all about planning those questions, but also, and more importantly, it's this one slogan which I'm going to give you. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And if we think about that, we should be talking 1/3 of the time. Our visitor to our stand at the exhibition should be talking 2/3 of the time. And we do that by asking good, quality, open questions. And I'm suggesting we do this in all our lives in the sales situation, but particularly at an exhibition where we need to build that relationship first. Hope tip number 6 was of help, and look forward to seeing you on session 7.